Hello travelers, I'm Chris, welcome to Lorespire. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at skill checks and how they work in Rogue Trader. Now bear in mind that this game is still in alpha, so everything is subject to change. I don't actually expect these skill checks to change much though, if at all. So let's go ahead and start with the basics, and even at a basic level, the skill check system is quite a bit different here than it has been in previous Owlcat games. To start off with, they're actually called skill tests instead of skill checks in this game. Also, we will be using a D100 instead of a D20. So that's pretty different, and we're actually looking to roll lower, not higher, or equal to or lower than the actual DC of the check. Okay, so high numbers bad, low numbers good. And whenever we go ahead and we look at this here, this is a commerce skill test. And we can see that it has a negative 10 DC. Now, the number that we're actually rolling for will be 0 or less. And the negative 10 is actually going to be the modifier that we get. Okay, but on all of your rolls, you're hoping after all the modifiers have been added or subtracted, applied. Once they've all been applied, you're hoping to go ahead and get a 0 or less. If you do, you succeed. Okay, so commerce minus 10 DC means that you need to roll a 0 and you're going to get a minus 10 modifier to your actual skill value. Now, whenever you go to make the actual skill check, if you have your entire party selected, then the best person for the job will be chosen to make the check. If you only have one person chosen, then they will make the check regardless of their chance to succeed. So let's go ahead and run an example here. And hopefully it'll make more sense after we do that if it's not already making sense. So Abelard failed his commerce check. If we come over here and we right click on it, we can actually see the D100 roll was 75. Okay, now if we look here, our total skill value is 40. Total skill value is your skill value after the modifier has been applied. So in this case, Abelard has a 50 in his commerce skill. Then we subtract 10 because the DC was 10, negative 10 rather. Okay, so after we subtract the 10 as the modifier, we have a total skill value of 40. Then you subtract the total skill value here from the actual roll, and you get a 35. Obviously, 35 is not equal to or less than 0, so we failed. Here we have some skill tests that are available in conversation. If we mouse over them, we can see the person who's going to make the skill check. It should always use the person who is best suited to succeed. And we can also see the chance to succeed here, which you can tell is 100%, and it'll actually say 100% on all of these. Remember, we're still in alpha. The 100% is not actually correct. I'm sure that Owlcat will get that fixed. So for now, if you're playing alpha, just ignore the 100% chance. Okay, and then we can also see the person's actual skill in the check or test that we're attempting to make. So let's go ahead and do the coercion test. It has a minus 10 DC. You can see that we failed it. And if we look here, it looks a little bit different here than it did in the log, but essentially we have the same information. We have the skill value of Heinrichs, which is 40. We have the difficulty class modifying it. Okay, so negative 10. So we subtract 10 from 40. That gives us our total skill value 30. And then what we actually rolled is a 71. So 71 minus 30 is a 41. That's not 0 or less. So of course, we didn't get it. Wah, wah, wah. Test failed, people. Now let's go ahead and make our awareness check here. And we've got another failure. Damn, we suck today. Anyways, if we go ahead and look at this, you can see our skill value is 55. The DC is 10. Now, it's not negative 10 this time, so you're actually adding 10 to your skill value. So your total skill is 65. And we rolled a 69. 69 minus 65, of course, is not 0 or less, so we failed. Now let's go ahead and make a strength check. Modifier is 0. Or DC is 0, which means the modifier will be 0. You can tell that we failed this as well. Skill value is 45. The difficulty class is 0, so nothing's added or subtracted. Our total skill is 45. We rolled an 89. 89 minus 45, blah, blah. You know the drill. Anyways, let's go ahead and make this one last test here. All right, and we succeeded in this one. Pascal is freaking awesome, especially with tech. He should be, since he's a tech priest, right? So if we look at this, again, difficulty class is 0, so nothing added or subtracted from our skill value. He has an 85 skill value in tech, so we rolled a 32, and we subtract his total skill from the roll. 32 minus 85 is obviously less than 0, or 0 or less, so we went ahead and we passed that skill test. All right, once you have it explained to you, it's really not too difficult to understand. It's a little bit unintuitive, especially if you've not played Rogue Trader before. It did take me a little bit of time to kind of work through it and figure it out. So hopefully this helps all of you out there who are playing alpha right now, and anybody who's going to play beta or just play the game in general once it's released. Now you understand how these skill checks work, or skill tests rather. And yeah, hopefully this helped you out. Be sure to give us a like. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't subscribed. We're going to be bringing you a ton more videos on Rogue Trader. Thanks everybody for the support. This has been Chris with Lorespire. Be well, my friends.